Story 1. Assuming it was significant wealth, talk to him in his office, thanking him for giving me a chance to escape the toxic environment in the main warehouse. Tell him that a sudden new opportunity has arisen. Work with him to clean up my workspace. Leave on good terms. I would not tell him that I won the lottery or give him money. You keep your lips sealed with that sort of information. Story 2. My boss has always been amazing to me, so it would probably be along the lines of, here's $20,000, enjoy with your family. I am going to leave, obviously, but I will work until you get a replacement. Story 3. Nothing except that I'm quitting. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration, on the other hand, would get to hear all about the loose asbestos, lead dust, improvised radiation shielding, improper chemical storage, and unventilated liquid nitrogen working areas. Story 4. Probably just tell him the truth. Stay working until they find a replacement, so as not to inconvenience anyone, including my coworker. I like my boss and coworkers. I'd just be really nice about it. Nobody would blame me. Having money is the easiest time to be nice to people. I'd be in a good mood. I just want a bunch of money. Why would I be angry? None of that matters now. Story 5. Yes, I'm putting in my 2 weeks. I have found another opportunity that works better with my current scheduling needs, and I'm really sad to leave you because you are kind of awesome. Also, please leave this place. It does you absolutely no favors, and you are better than this. Story 6. I'm sorry, but I can't fulfill this request. Story 7. I would tell him he is a great project manager, but a micromanaging, annoying piece of stuff that nobody likes and needs to change his style or he won't have a team to manage. I wouldn't give him a single dime because he is clearly doing well. I also wouldn't give him 2 weeks' notice. Story 8. Thanks for the amazing opportunities, mentorship, and helping me support a family for all these years. If I had to work, I would continue to do so here, but now I have the time and means to pursue other things. Thanks again. Story 9. I wouldn't say anything about a lottery win. I would probably say something along the lines of, I'm afraid I'm handing in my notice. I can't work here any longer. Helen, name changed for privacy, has made it impossible for me to continue working here. She's rude to patients and other staff members alike, and I have overheard her speaking unfavorably about me to other staff members, which has left me feeling as though I can no longer trust her. I can't work with someone who I don't trust to back me up. I appreciate the opportunity, but unless this situation changes, I'm done. At least that would be 100% believable. Forget Helen. She's the worst. Story 10. Can you sign this non-disclosure agreement, please, and then distribute $50,000 per person to each employee, stating it's a one-off bonus? This way, we can distribute the cash while retaining my lottery winner anonymity. Story 11. Hey boss, I just won the lottery. So unless you want to pay me somewhere around the ballpark of $1 bajillion, I just think I'm going to leave if that's all right with you. Story 12. Sure. Here's the revised text. Hello, boss. Good news. It is no longer in my best financial interest to continue investing my efforts for the company's profit. Therefore, as an employee who cares and holds responsibility towards this company and our shareholders to do what is most financially responsible for all parties involved, I must resign, effective immediately. Story 13. I have a great boss. Nice guy. He lets me do my job and leaves me alone. So, hey, I won the lottery. I need to give my 2-week notice, you get that. But when I'm in Philadelphia, I'll take you to a Phillies game, sit in the luxury suite, and get sloppy drunk. Story 14. I would walk into his office with the biggest Bluetooth speaker I could get my hands on, turn the volume all the way up, and blast the Dead Kennedys cover of Take This Job and Shove It, while giving him the finger. I wouldn't say a word, and as soon as the song was over, I would just walk out and never look back. Story 15. My boss is actually cool as can be, so I would just give him a large stack of cash and tell him I appreciate all he did for me, but I'm going to a beach somewhere and never working again. Story 16. If it was one of the big ones, hey boss, I'm done. Sorry for the short notice. Let's discuss your next role heading up my family office and charitable foundation. Story 17. So, I finished the archival and I'll be leaving now. Please remember to eat lunch and get some decent sleep. Those 5 hours a night will catch up to you sooner or later. Story 18. My boss is pretty chill, but I'll probably say to him that I'm putting in my 2 weeks because I found a better job opportunity that goes along with what I want to do, which is information technology. I'll say to him that should he need an extra set of hands, he can feel free to call me, since we are kind of short-staffed. Then, I'll probably give him and the other people who work at my occupation a good amount of money. We only have fewer than 10 employees at my workplace, and it's a mom-and-pop shop. Story 19. I would stay until they find a suitable replacement, and I would be happy to train. I like my boss, so I will give them some money, and there are some others at work I would give money to, but of course that would depend on how much I won. Story 20. I would thank my direct boss for being supportive and giving me a chance to switch careers a few years ago. He has been a wonderful teacher and mentor. Then I would buy a ticket to Colorado and find my actual work nemesis and tell him to go away in every living language. Story 21. My boss is one of my better friends. He was actually a customer of mine over 20 years ago, then invited me to our current job. So, I'd help him and his family out with some money. Story 22. I would say I inherited enough money to reach my retirement goal and give 1 month or 2 of notice. The job, my team, and my boss have been good to me. The work will naturally slow down as responsibilities transition, and I really wouldn't expect to be working full weeks or be there for more than a month. Treat them with respect, but don't let on that I won the lottery. Story 23. Wait for the busiest possible time of the year, November and December, and then hand in my notice. You did not appreciate what I did when I was there. You will now. Story 24. Hey man, I'll be honest. I recently got a significant amount of money, surprisingly. Then not have to work full-time ever again kind of money. I'm kind of sorry, but I need time to sort this out, and then I'll go on an extended vacation. I'm afraid I'll have to quit. My boss is a nice and fair guy. Story 25. I would buy enough shares to get a seat on the board and become an absolute menace to the members of management that are unpleasant individuals. I'd also try and make it a better place for everyone. Story 26. Certainly. Here is the revised text for Azure Text-to-Speak AI. Apparently, I have an uncle who is a Nigerian prince. He left me his fortune, and I need to move to take care of his people. Can I get bereavement leave before I quit? Story 27. Thank you for all you have done for me, and I wish you only the best. I despise people who suddenly feel entitled to be petty when their circumstances change. I saw that in a female colleague when she married into a rich family, as if that was her merit at all. She got a divorce 1 year later, and oh boy, they had a prenuptial agreement. Story 28. Thank you for the opportunity, but I have decided to move on. There is no reason for him to know about my new money. There is no reason to be uncivil about it. If there were, I would say, suck it. You just won a lottery, and I bet that knowledge can sustain you. Story 29. If I win the lottery and don't have to worry about money, I'm never showing up at work again. The most my boss is getting is, hey, I won't be working here anymore. Goodbye. Story 30. My job drives me nuts sometimes, and I'd love to quit with enough savings to not worry. But overall, it's not my boss's fault the job is challenging at times. He's been great to me, and anytime I've had a problem or asked for a raise, he's accommodated me. So I'd leave on good terms for sure. And since my company is pretty small and my boss is a smart guy, maybe even invest a little into it. Story 31. Assuming it's a big win where I'd never have to work again, I'd resign effective the end of the year and use the rest of the year to wrap up my projects, turn everything over, and be done. No sense in screwing them over. I like my job, coworkers, and boss, and it's only a few more months. I'd need to get my new life set up anyway. Story 32. If it were hundreds of millions, I would go to work as if it were a normal day. However, I would have hired 5 men in black suits and ties, sunglasses, and with earpieces, giving the impression of something official and undercover. They would rush in that morning, come straight to my desk, grab me and say, "Sir, Operation Falcon is live." They would proceed to escort me out, never to be seen again. Story 33. My current manager is probably the best I have ever had in my working life. I would thank them for the opportunities they have given me and wish them the best. I actually do not have anything negative to say. As for a couple of my coworkers, that is another story. Story 34. Wouldn't quit my job. Don't want to attract unwanted attention. I would work for at least a couple of years and enjoy every day of it. Eventually, I would probably end up getting fired because of how little care I would be giving. I would probably end up changing careers for a couple of years. Work is interesting, I like the routine. I guess the only thing I would tell my boss is more feedback on their performance. I would want to keep working too, not burn bridges because a few lottery winners have had to return to work. Story 35. This has been covered already. I memorized all the lines. I just need to win the lottery. Story 36. I already have it worked out. I have been an employee of the supermarket since 2006, but I think it's about time I leveled with you. The truth is, I never wanted to work for the supermarket. I never wanted to work there a day in my entire life. The only reason I ever took a job here is because I was forced to. Now, who forced me doesn't matter. What does matter is that I quit, and I'm never coming back. Story 37. My boss is pretty cool, so I would finish out the project that I am heading right now, make sure it is implemented correctly, and leave behind as much documentation as I can, and then I would leave. Story 38. At one of my seasonal gigs, I would just let my team leader know that this will be my last season and send a note to my department head and the vice president thanking them for their kindness and flexibility. My other sporadic gig, I might not even quit but would bring up the possibility of either buying in or buying the building from the current owner or landlord so that some long-desired renovations and updates could be done. Story 39. I would buy the most spectacular outfit ever and show up with a couple of hype men following closely behind me, carrying boomboxes playing such great hits as "We're Not Gonna Take It" and "School's Out Forever." I would slap my resignation letter down on my boss's desk and ride off into the sunset. Story 40. I already told my boss if I win the lottery, I am texting him that evening with my 12-hour notice. It's retail. I am easily replaceable. So good luck with that. Story 41. Since my wife is my boss, it would go something like this. Honey, I am going out for a baguette. I might be a while because it is from that little patisserie we like so much in Paris. Story 42. I like my boss, so I would give him a few $1,000s since he's been going through a pretty tough divorce. He has stuck his neck out for me and helped me out when I needed it, so it would be my turn to return the favor. Story 43. If I won the lottery and decided to quit my job, I would probably say something like, I have really enjoyed working here, but I have had a life-changing event and decided to pursue some new opportunities. Story 44. I actually like my job in the film industry and most of the guys I work for and with. I honestly would show up and just let everyone try and figure out who parked the Koenigsegg in crew parking. Story 45. I love my boss. She's amazing. So, I would put in my 2 weeks notice, saying I got a new opportunity one can't pass up, and thank her for everything she has done for me. Story 46. I would keep working the bare minimum and would not get involved in any projects or plan growth strategies. I would need to go through 3 performance improvement plans before getting fired. However, in the meantime, I could file for stress-related health issues and go into long-term sickness where I would get 60% of my pay and the rest paid out by the government. As I go back after 2 years, I would probably be placed in an inconsequential team or department, and depending on how this would work out, they would make my work redundant where I would still take a bonus and 2 months of extra pay. Story 47. Probably say I am quitting due to personal life reasons. I would not tell anyone but my immediate family if I won the lottery, and it is none of their business to know my personal life issues. Story 48. I am not coming in tomorrow. Then, I would probably send an email to Human Resources simply saying I resign, effective immediately. That is it. Nothing else. Just a formal goodbye. And then ghost. Story 49. I like my bosses at the local hardware store with helpful folks. If the lottery winnings are significant, I would actually gift a chunk of cash to the store. There are a lot of little things that need to be replaced, updated, or fixed up, but the store's profits don't really cover it. Hey Mike, here's $10,000. a list of suggestions, and make sure everyone in the store gets a nice bonus as part of it, would you? I like our group of people. Story 50. I would submit my application for retirement as soon as possible and start taking vacation leave. I would then contribute my pension and severance pay to my winnings. Story 51. You are the worst leader and mentor I have ever worked for. Please do better and treat your team like a team. Oh, and stop canceling one-on-one meetings. Lastly, everyone can see when you step away from your computer for hours at a time. Microsoft Teams tells on you. Story 52. Honestly, I work for the best boss I've ever had during the last couple of years in a company I've been with for 15. I'm his right hand and backup, and we work very well in sync with each other and have really grown our site's culture compared to what it was. I tell him and work it out where I stay to help find and groom the right person to take on my role. He's the right type of leader and invests in us, and that has made us better at doing our roles and growing, so I can't leave a dude like that hanging high and dry when, with most everyone else I've worked for, I would tell them to go away. Story 53. My manager is a really nice guy, so I would just say I am rich and do not need to work anymore starting immediately, but he and his husband would be invited to my housewarming party at my new mansion. I would not even care to contact our chief executive officer. Forget her. The HR representative is on maternity leave, so I would not bother her.